Good morning, everyone. Bienvenidos a todos. Welcome to the motiveradio.com show today, exclusively with Mr. Holton Bugs, our mentor, our friend, the CBO of Organo, is going to share with us some inside information about Christmas, the last month of the year, approaching the end of the year, and what do we have to do, especially on the mindset. Mr. Holton, good morning.
Good morning. Buenos dias a todos.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yes.
First time in our program.
Absolutely.
So many people have been asking when Mr. Holton is going to come and share some of his insight. So we decided today, being a few days before Christmas, a week almost away from the end of the year, what is the mindset? How people should think now before the end of the year?
Well, I think that's a great question. And, you know, I'll give it in two parts. One part, I have to say I will forgive all of the people who are not participating with the other part that I'm going to mention, okay? So I'll give it in two parts. Number one, if you're right now waiting to figure out your mindset for Christmas and for the beginning of the year, you're already too late. You know, I believe in getting the slight edge. I believe in getting the advantage. And I believe that the last quarter of the year, starting in October, so you got October, November, December, the last quarter of the year is when all the preparation for the new year should have already begun, okay? And so, as an example, I set all of my goals for the following year in the beginning of November. Erlene and I, we sit down, we talk about what we want to accomplish, we look at all of the people that we want to be a part of that goal. Why? Because we can't do it all by ourselves. And so what we do is we take a look and we say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We understand that there's a team that's necessary for us to do something big. Now remember, if you don't have anyone who's included in your goal, that means that your goal is too small, okay? Because if you can do everything that you want to do by yourself and you don't have different components of a team that's needed, you're probably dreaming small. So I never forget when I started this process, I would look at who all I wanted to participate in making $100,000 a year. This is when I first said a long time ago, a goal to make $1 million in a year. Well, I knew that if I made $1 million, or when I made that $1 million, that I had to have a certain number of people who were going to make a certain amount. And so I looked at all the people who I had as my six-figure team. And I mapped out each person who I knew who had the capabilities of making at least $100,000. And then I looked at the people who had the capabilities of making $50,000. And so I mapped all of it out. And so everything that I was doing for that year, I made sure that I was working in the right place. I made sure that I was counseling the people in the right place. I made sure that everything I set up was in the right place. But I didn't wait till December. I started that thinking about it in October. I had the plan mapped out in November, and then I executed. So, for those of you who have not,
because there are quite a few people who are still waiting.
Right, they're still waiting.
After Christmas.
Right, they're still waiting. I'm one of those, I don't subscribe to the world's standard of thinking. Not on most things, okay? You know my philosophy, observe the masses, do the opposite. Now, do I celebrate Christmas and holidays? Of course I do. But when I look at all of these things, many of those things were put in by people to basically control the behaviors of other people.
Of the masses.
Of the masses, okay? So if you look at it, right now, if you watch television, and I watch television now. So some people say television is bad and you shouldn't watch any television. That's not true. If you're not focused on your goals and television is a distraction, it's bad. But I'm focused on my goals. So if you watch television, when did they start advertise, or when did they start Christmas commercials? October?
Yeah.
They don't wait until December.
Even the weight loss for next year is October.
Yeah, they start in October.
Yep.
And so they put all of these things in place to put people in a festive mood. So right now what's happening is December. Everybody's in a festive mood. Everybody's out there taking their credit card, spending, or stressing out over who to buy a gift for. And
spending more money, right?
Spending more money, whatever it may be. They're stressing about that kind of stuff. And who created that? It's the commercial world. The people who control all that created that. So what I do is I take my mindset and I say, I'm going to work harder during this period of time. Why? Because most people are taking off. Okay?
Having a good time.
They're having a good time. And instead of me having a good time 1 month out of the year or 5 holidays out of the year, what I did is I worked so hard, I stayed so focused during the months of October, November, December, throughout the holidays. I have my fun. Christmas, I'm not going to be sampling. I'm not bringing people to my house to give a presentation. I see people, oh, you know, on Christmas you should be showing the plan. Those are probably the people who hadn't shown the plan all year.
That's right.
And so they're waiting for a captive audience.
Or those who are about to go to the next level, focused on the month of December.
Yes.
Like we did in 2009.
Exactly, right.
And remember your words.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Unbelievable.
And we did that. So I work hard so I can, it's okay to take a day off on Christmas. You know, I'm going to have family there, so I want to work with my family. But while I'm building, I work so hard during these times so that when January comes, I'm not getting it together.
You're ready to go.
Right. Just imagine. Everybody says January 1, I'm going to start. Right? That's the favorite saying. Well, I'm getting everything ready so when the new year comes, I'm going to start and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Okay, well, that's cool. Now, here's what happens. New Year comes around and they do the same thing they did the last 10 years before. I want you to imagine that we're on a racetrack and we're driving our cars or we're running, it doesn't matter. So I want you to imagine we're at the starting blocks. We're at the starting blocks. And we're sitting there, you got the engine, you're revving the engine, you know, that's the person who's saying.
And you're waiting for the green light.
Right, you're waiting for the green light. That's the person who's getting ready, right? All of this energy, all of this noise, it hadn't gone anywhere. Okay, but the engine sounds like they're about to win first place. But imagine the person who's already en route, who already started their race, okay? And they're coming around and they're about to approach January 1st, but they're already going 100 miles an hour. When that green light comes on, does the person who's sitting there getting ready even have a chance to compete?
No.
No.
No. They start from zero.
Right, because they're starting from zero. So don't. The message is, my message is, don't start from zero. Why? It doesn't make sense to start from zero. So get your momentum going. Have your fun, but get your momentum going. Don't start the year like everybody else is going to be at the starting blocks. I'm not going to start at the starting blocks. I'm not faster than everybody else. I need an advantage. I'm not smarter than most people. You know, if you take a look at my SAT scores, I don't know if I should put this out here on the radio, but put it this way here. I scored, my best score was, my first time scoring was a 890 on the SAT scores. And the second time, put it this way, after I took it the second time, I said, you know what, I got an 890, let me stay there because I'm going to demotivate myself because you're supposed to get better.
Yeah.
My score went down. It went down about 40 points, all right? And so I figured I got lucky with the 890. So being that I'm not the smartest person, I'm not the fastest, I'm not the most intelligent, I need as much help as I can get. So I don't start where everybody else starts because I'll finish last. So I get a little bit of an advantage.
Sometimes, you know, people get distracted on the holidays because they feel good around family and friends, and they tend to put aside obstacles, problems. They're going to deal with it, and they will just pass it on for the next year.
Right.
And that's how most people live their lives.
Right.
I was one of them, years back.
Right.
And we go through the process. Let's share with our people, what is the vision of Organo for the 217?
Right. Well, you know, well, one thing that you mentioned is how people react, how they're emotional. The thing that I want you to know is feelings change. Emotions change. Just look at the word emotion. Motion means in movement. Okay? That means your energy, emotion, the energy that you have is going to be up and down, up and down, up and down. That's called emotion. If it was stable, it wouldn't be called emotion.
You'll be dead.
Right. You'd be dead. You'd be dead. So feelings change. That's why I don't build off of feelings. I don't make decisions on how I feel. I married my wife. I met her in 1986, October 1986. Okay?
This is when I came to America.
That's when you came to America, right?
October 1986.
You came to America. I found my wife, 1986. Wow. Okay, I was 13 years old. Okay,
I was 26.
And so I'm 13 years old. And do you believe that back then, 1986? So that's just 30 years. Now it's 30. Is it 30?
No.
40. No. How many years?
No.
30 years. 30 years. Yes, 30 years. Yes. This is 2016.
Yeah, 30 years.
So
later.
30 years.
Right.
Do you believe that my feelings have changed at some point in time for my wife? Of course. We got married 23 years ago. You think my feelings have ever changed for her? Yes. If you're sitting there and you're married, if you've been married longer than a week and you're saying your feelings haven't changed, you're lying.
Yep. 23 years married, up and down.
Right.
In and out.
The feelings change. But I didn't get married based on feelings.
Correct.
Okay. I started the dating process based on feelings, but we sat down and we laid out some principles of how we were going to live our life. And we said, we know the feelings are going to change. And the principle said, regardless of how we feel, here's the commitment that we're going to make. And so I believe how you do anything is how you do everything. And so the same approach I took there, which has led me to having a progressively successful marriage. I won't say successful because we ain't done. We have a lot more to accomplish. Same approach in business. The principle works no matter where you apply it. Yeah. So in business, if I'm just excited because people are coming into my business, well, what happens when they're not coming in? I'm not excited. Does that mean the business doesn't work? No. Okay. So I can't only work based on emotion. I have to work based on principle. So the principle is, number one, that you make sure that you have a company, number one, that's going to respect you and that's going to pay you, deliver your products. Number two, you make sure that they have a compensation plan that is a fair compensation plan. You make sure that you plug into your leadership, and leadership is not my sponsor. You're fortunate if your sponsor becomes your leader. Yeah. But all the way up to the top, you're going to find leadership if you got a good solid company. If you've got that and you've got great products, then you can make it through whatever moments that you're having in your business, because you're going to have great times, you're going to have bad times. In Organo, 8 years, everybody thinks it's all rosy. It's never been all rosy.
Challenging.
It's
growing.
Growing, challenging, changing, things
Learning.
of that nature. And but that's normal. And what happens is this, okay? It's like someone, let me give you an example, and I'll get to your question. And I guess I give these long-winded answers.
That's okay.
Okay? I'm a rookie on the radio.
You got unlimited time.
I'm a rookie on the radio. All right, so here's what happens, okay? Let me give you an example with emotion. So what happens is some people who, they contract some type of issue, maybe an emotional issue, and they feel that the beginning of the year, a calendar will remove those issues. You said that they set them aside, they don't want to deal with them. So it's no different than saying, let's say, for example, that I have, let's say that I not only contracted an emotion, let's say I contracted high blood pressure. Okay, they call it a disease. So here I am, I have high blood pressure. You know what? I'm not going to deal with it now. At the beginning of the year, my blood pressure is going to be going, it's going to be normal now because of a calendar. No, it's not going to be gone. Okay?
It's going to be stuck there.
It's going to be stuck. What must I do? I have to find out from my doctor or my upline, hey, listen, I've got high blood pressure. My business has high blood pressure, low blood pressure, whatever you want to call it. What's the solution? So I go to my doctor and he checks my vital signs. He's going to put the pulse, the machine, whatever it is. They put it, hook me all up to these cables and stuff, and he says, you know what? Here's what's the issue. Here's what the issue. Sometimes they may need to take blood, and they send the blood to the lab. Well, the lab, who's going to, what do? They take an analysis, and they look at all of these different things. Here's what's wrong, and then the doctor comes back and write a prescription. He prescribes something. Well, why is it that they make the doctor, her or him, go through years of training? Because what if they prescribe the wrong thing? They must be an expert.
You could be dead.
Right, you could be dead. So here's what I did. And this is what I teach. My business has high blood pressure.
Oh, Lord.
My business has hypertension or low blood pressure. Instead of me thinking that the calendar is going to make things better, let me go to the doctor. My upline. I go to my upline here, and I say, here's my situation. And I lay out the drawing of my group. And now he's going to do an analysis. The upline does an analysis of my business and said, oh, I see what's wrong here. This is what's happening. You haven't sponsored anybody in 6 months. So what's going on? Because the leader isn't sponsoring anyone, the people are watching you, and so that they feel that they can get the same results without sponsoring. This has led to low enrollment in your group. If we want to change it, here's a prescription, and I write it in, on my little doctor's paper and say, listen, go sponsor 2 people. We did this in Mexico. We were in Mexico together. We just had our anniversary, and we way surpassed what we did last month in November. Yeah. I checked with Rodolfo, and we got people. And this is to show you how simple you can make things in your business. And we got some people in Mexico, and we did a talk about tug of war, and we had people challenge people to sponsor 2 people. December was going to be the first month of their business because we're doubling and tripling in Mexico. And we're doing these little short videos. I say, anybody who sponsors 2, I will send you your personal motivation video. It was just a video. I didn't call it a motivation video. The first one, I kind of feel a little bad for the people who sponsored their 2 first because it was a congratulations video. They were excited, but me, as I do things, things have to get better. And so I thought about it and started putting music with it, start making motivation with it, and I'm sending these videos to people, and everybody keeps sending me more emails. Hey, I got another person sponsored 2. You've been sending me. I have 5 or 6 people who sponsored 2 people. Some of these people haven't sponsored anybody in a year. And so I gave a prescription. Yeah. We want to double, quadruple. I said December, I believe we can quadruple. Yeah. Why? Everybody else is saying, oh, December is a bad month. No, December is now
it's the best month.
It's one of the best months.
Yeah.
And that's what we're doing. So you have to get a prescription. It's not the time. You give the prescription, and then now you put into action. So the doctor says, here's high blood pressure medication. Well, what if I go take 1 dose? Is my blood pressure going to be stable? No, I have to take it when? Every day. Sometimes the doctor says, you must take it in the morning, you must take it at night. If you want to stabilize, right? Yeah. You must eat better. You must get on your OGX shake, lose some weight. You got to exercise. This is a process, and so we prescribe and say, hey, listen, you want to get your business back on track? Okay, this is what you must do. You must now show the plan. 4 times a week or twice a week, you must go out and actually sell some product. Do you know people? They didn't know. They thought it was illegal to make a retail sale.
Wow. And
some people think it's illegal. They're like, if I retail some product, my upline may think I'm soft. No, that's the purpose of what we do.
We're looking for customers. So, subscribers.
You go get you some subscribers, get you some customers, and sell some product. Okay? And then we say, hey, you know what? Right now, your attitude is not the best. You probably need to pick up a book.
Feed your mind.
Feed your mind. So, when a doctor says you got to get on a diet and cleanse your blood, so we say, hey, listen, go read a book so you can cleanse your mind, feed your mind. Yeah. It's the same thing. So we're giving them a set of instructions of what they need to do to get prepared, and now what's the vision? That was the last part of your question.
Now that you mentioned that, I've got a lot of text messages where people are actually bringing some new people in.
Right.
But for some reason, those people are not duplicating fast enough, or they don't duplicate at all.
Right.
And they get desperate. I brought like 15 people,
right.
New ones, personals, but they haven't. None of them have duplicated.
I want to speak to that. Let me have some more of my breakfast here real quick. Can I have some breakfast?
Oh, of course. That's a healthy one.
Every time I sip this, I make about 3 cents.
Well, let's keep drinking. Let's make some more money.
And this is a reorder, so the global pool. Everybody who's a Ruby, right now, I'm going to make you some money. This is how easy it is to make money in OG.
Watch. 3 cents.
3 cents. We're gonna share that. Right. You know what the most impressive part about the shake?
When finished.
I'm not trying to lose weight.
You look awesome, by the way.
I've been the same size since, well, I did pick up a little bit of weight.
No, you lost weight.
I did, yeah. But I'm not trying to lose weight, but I drink it every day.
Yeah.
Because it's not a challenge. This is a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, I love it. It tastes like.
We are changing our daily habits for a better life for the future. Permanently.
This is the best part.
Permanentemente. Now that was 23 cents.
But anyway, what was I talking about? You know me.
About the duplication.
Oh, duplication. Here we go. Now,
they sponsor 15 people.
They sponsor 15 people, and nobody duplicates. Now, I want to talk about right now, answer that about the art of duplication. See, network marketing. All right, it's if you look at the middle word, it's the most important word, work.
Yeah.
Now, what most people do is they forget the work part. They net mark. So they cast this big net, they bring the people in, and then they mark it.
How about those who do work? Nothing happens.
So no. No, I'm going to talk about the work. They don't understand.
I can listen to them.
Right.
I can feel the thing.
They don't understand the work that's required. So I want to share with you. Now, I didn't have much success my first 7 years in networking. And I did some work, okay? I didn't have the mindset. My mentality wasn't clear. I told you guys I'm not that smart. And most people, because of my results, everybody thinks, this guy's a genius. No, genius is nothing more than consistency. I never give up, and I work, and I learn from people, and I submitted myself to some other teaching. So the work part that most people don't understand, they think that if I bring in these people, there's an automatic system that's going to grow them for me. If that's the case, we would use this radio. We have enough money and resources to do all the advertising in the world. We have enough to put billboards out. We have enough to flood the internet to get all of these people coming in. If there was this automatic system of getting people through,
yeah.
But it doesn't work that way.
Work.
So here's what happened to me. Let me share something with you. And this is when even myself, I had to say, Holton, I want you to teach how you got started. What made you stay in the business when you first got started for 7 years and I never made any money? And so it's not an art of teaching people to stay in if they're not making money, but it's an art of teaching people how to make people go through the process. I never forget when I first got sponsored into network marketing. This was in 1990, September. I think it was like the 20th of 1990. What happened with me was my sponsor didn't even let me enroll the night I saw the plan.
Wow. He
set up an appointment called a follow-up. I was ready. I wasn't one of those who says, let me think about it. Okay, I saw what I wanted. It was new math to me. I was mad at my mom because she had never exposed me to network marketing and sent me off to college. I'm like, I could have skipped college, but anyway.
And he did not. He followed up with you the next day.
It was it was the next day.
Wow.
So it was the following day, and then I signed up. Okay, he sat down with me and he laid out a plan. Okay, he laid out a plan of what I wanted to do, and I was excited because I had never had a plan for my life. This is the first person, honestly, who sat down and told me I could plan my life. I thought that the university gave me a plan. I thought the plan was the 4 years of or 5 years.
Or 6.
And some extra change that I spent and still didn't graduate. But anyway, I thought that was supposed to be the plan. He sat down and says, here is a plan. And then we ordered my kit. We ordered my kit. My kit was coming in, and he, never forget, he set up an appointment to go through my kit. Open my kit with me. I'm like, I have a knife. I can open the kit. I can go through the papers. No. We're going to come over and go through your kit with you. Now, this sounds like it's so, unimportant. But when he went through my kit with me, he opened up the kit and he went through the products. And he explained to me what the product was. I never forget him doing a testimonial. He opened my product. Probably because I couldn't return it. But anyway, whatever it is, he did it, right? He opened each product with me. And he did a demonstration with each product. And here I'm fascinated. Now, guess what happened? I was resold on the business. I was resold because he went through and he says, we made a list of names. We did I don't remember all of the stuff. I do remember him taking an hour with me. So you bring in 15 people. They got their kits.
They got 15 hours minimum, total, follow-up.
So what are you going to do with these people? Are you going to go through their kits with them? Are you going to sit down with them individually? Or, oh, I brought in 15 people, automatically they should grow. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. And so now what we're doing, personal time. So now I've been, you saw me talk about this, and I've been showing people how to do what's called distributor orientation. So, and I wish I had time here to go over distributor orientations. We're going to save it for some of the stuff that we're going to do this year. This year's incredible. We've already planned it out. This whole year, we've already planned it out. We already know the number of subscribers we're going to have in Organo. We already know the number of distributors that's going to get brought into the company. We already know the products that we're going to launch, when the products are going to launch. We already know the marketing strategy behind. We've already done all of that. And now, in January, here in Houston, I know you're going to be in New York, and I wish...
I'm not going to be in New York.
You're not?
No.
You're going to be here?
January 14.
I thought you were in New York.
Yeah, what we did is we made a decision.
Okay.
If it's going to be the Organo major first launching event,
yes,
as many diamonds and above leaders we should be here.
I honestly, I felt bad because I'm like, John plans things like, guys, you don't understand who I'm dealing with here. This guy, he knows what he's going to do in 2019. He knows what color underwear he's going to wear on March the 2nd, 2019, okay?
Which I do. It's going to be blue with lines. But no.
So I felt bad. So what happened is we went to Las Vegas. Okay, so just to talk about the planning, we went to Las Vegas. We had the entire corporate team there, marketing, everyone. Shane Moran flew in as well, and we sat there for 4 days, 4 days, and we went through everything, and we planned all of this stuff out. And here it was. I'm looking at all of our corporate team with all of these assets, and I'm sitting there with I'm drooling. I'm like, why haven't we shared this information with the field? And I'm like, I got it. This is what we're going to do. We're kicking the year off.
First time, man.
First time. I said, listen, marketing, sales, distributor, you know, our field development team, you guys are coming to Houston. We're doing, it's not a Super Saturday. It's Pave Your Way to Success is going to be the name of it.
Nice.
And we're bringing the corporate team. So I said, let's bring Organo corporate to the field. And so what we're going to do, the first one will be here. And then on a monthly basis, we're going to go around and we're bringing the company to the distributor, to the field. Okay?
Amazing. First time.
Everybody hasn't been to Canada.
First time.
First time.
Wow.
We're bringing the company here. And we're like, okay, so it's not going to be me sitting up doing all of this training. Much of the basic stuff they know, but there's some information and statistics and planning and the vision and the future. We want everybody to see not only where we're going, how we're going to get there in the team of people, and how important they are as distributors in terms of how we're going to get there. So it's awesome.
And with that said, let's talk about this and that. We got something for you, this and that. Watch.
This and that. Is this not the most sexiest package ever?
Amazing.
Listen, while I was there, okay, and maybe if we can put up on the screen as well the shot that I took in Vegas of all the products, the new packaging, and I happened to have this one in my car. I just told John, I said, John, I can go down and get it. But the new packaging has, we'll put it this way, it arrived in Vegas. And all of the new coffee, the latte is incredible, the Supreme, the king of coffee, incredible. This is the mocha. This is my favorite packaging now. I haven't drank a mocha in a while, but it is incredible. If you look on the screen, if you're on the radio, if you're on the internet, you'll see the old packaging versus the new packaging. In the old packaging, we thought it was incredible when it came out. And it was the way, you know, some people were like, oh, we need to get an easier way to open it. I can take my 2-year-old niece and she can open a package of the latte without having to use her teeth.
People have asked me a question. The package have changed. Has the formulation changed?
You know what? Yes. What we've done with the formulation is we've we've put diamond Ganoderma.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Now you know.
So
now
we have,
you know.
now we have diamond Ganoderma. No.
You know, sometimes the packaging creates this optical illusion
Right.
that transfers to the lips on the
Right.
taste. It
It's
tastes
all mental.
even better.
Right, it tastes
Absolutely.
even better. So it's kind of like when you dress up, your attitude is better.
Yes.
Well, we've dressed up the packaging.
Yes.
People who see this packaging, they want to be associated with it in some form or fashion. So why do we do this? Number one is because we want to remove any excuse for why you can't get subscribers.
Correct.
We want, when your customer and your subscribers look at this packaging, we want them to feel like they're underpaying. We want them to feel like, hold on, hurry up, let me give John his money because I know he didn't charge me enough. That's the feeling that we want.
Quality. It
Quality.
shows.
Quality.
Shows.
Quality. And
In and out.
It's incredible. Very incredible. So we've launched all of that, and this event, January 14th, is going to be incredible. I know we're going to be in Canada as well. We're bringing the GDC there and all of the diamonds.
A lot of people don't understand the concept of GDC, the purpose of it, and what's going to be the benefit on the field having a GDC in the company.
Well, the benefit of it is that we have distributors in the company who are communicating together, so the distributors can be the voice for the field and relay what's going on in the field from the field perspective. Living in the company, it's sometimes not the easiest thing to understand exactly how the field is working or how they feel because you're not doing the work. Well, what better way than to get the people who are doing the work to say, here's what's happening. And so that's what we're doing there.
And for us as distributors to understand and appreciate the people sitting behind a desk, planning, strategies, tools, they do it in the corporate part of the company. They don't know what the field is doing.
Right.
But now we will be able to see what the corporate does and work with them and help them provide for the field even better ways to build our business.
Absolutely.
That has never been done before.
No, it's not. And so it's we've made some decisions on where we're going to go as a company, and we're excited about it. And I think sometimes people are embarrassed to say, "Oh, my sales didn't grow this year." No, our sales didn't grow.
It's a business.
It's a business.
Up and down.
Apple didn't grow, but Tim Cook is not sitting there. I think I should switch over to Microsoft because Apple didn't. No, you
just
put a
have
plan
to
and you
get
grow
better.
it. All right,
Okay.
and so and I think sometimes if you're growing every year, you can't learn,
Yeah.
and you can't. And this was a year of being able to learn. It was a year of being able to really regroup, to refocus, and to take a slower evolution into a direction of where we want to be ultimately.
Yes.
Because you don't want to build everything on speed. This environment, this business is really is a marathon. Can you jump out and run fast? Yes. But if you only sprint, you can wear yourself out. And so the good thing is that we've got two parts to our comp plan. We've got the sprinting part, which you can go out and make you good money quickly. But we also have the marathon part, where you can have that long-term, stable residual income.
That's the most important.
Which is the most important, and we're creating that.
Another topic that many distributors have expressed is that we have what we call the system.
Right.
For steps, for questions, the calendar, the events. And some of them feel that it's like outdated or not enough.
Right.
We talk about education, we talk about what books to read and so forth. And then we told them about the OG Academy and what is coming out. If you can share with us how it's going to be to everybody's benefit, the learning and growing along with enhanced or improved, if you want to call it, tools and systems.
Okay. Well, I'll you know me, I'm always candid. People, if someone says, well, it's not enough, it is enough.
Yeah.
From an expert's point of view, for me, it's enough. For me, this is the only book that I really need. Now, do I read other books? Of course I do. Are other books important? Of course there are. Do I want other people to write books? Of course, but most people haven't mastered one book, but they're so proud to talk about, I've read 100 books. And if you ask them right now, tell me what's on chapter 2 of this book, they couldn't tell you.
I don't remember except this one.
Right.
I have 823 books in my house. They are in the boxes.
Yeah.
You know, what I read the most.
You know, it's you know, it's the same thing with products. Okay, I never forget when we launched products. I told Bernie, I said, Bernie, listen, if you do me a favor, I said, if we never sell anything more than Black and Latte, we can build $1 billion business. Okay. And everybody said, well, we need this. We need fresh brewed coffee. So everybody was going crazy about fresh brew. So we brought Jamaica Brew out, right? Yeah. And they couldn't wait for Jamaica Brew. We brought out Jamaica Brew, incredible Jamaican blend coffee.
Blue Mountain.
Packaging, Blue Mountain. It was off the hook. And it was the least sold coffee that we ever had.
It is the best one.
Right. Because why? People get bored with things that work. So here's the thing here. You also have to... But as a company, you also have to pay attention to people who want more entertainment than they do want value. That's going to be a part of the business. So in order to satisfy those people, we have to come out with more training tools and more information. It's not the quantity of the information that you've acquired. It's the quality of the execution that you put into one idea. One idea. When I read the book, The Master Key to Riches, I have not remembered the entire book. But the definiteness of purpose, that chapter, I've studied it. If I go to my book, my book, it's highlighted, it's underlined, and I can go back from years and years because I put the notes in there. And the year that I put the notes, I go back to it, and I'm like, why did I write that at that time? Why was this important to me 8 years ago? Yeah. It's not important to me now. So I haven't mastered it. But I am very close to mastering it, is that one thing. But some people who may not catch that, guess what? Maybe they need the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Maybe they need...
the 21 Laws of Irrefutable Leadership.
Yeah, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, or How to Win Friends and Influence People, which, by the way, I've read them all. They're great books. So,
or the 4 Agreements.
The 4 Agreements. So when we talk about the 4 steps, people say, well, the 4 steps is not enough.
Let's make it 5 then.
Okay? This is not enough. Why? Because now I have gotten so good that my reservoir for information has gotten larger, and I think because the reservoir for information and methodology is larger, I've got to fill it. No, fill it with more experiences of doing what worked the first time. Okay? And so you know, you keep principles the same, but have we come out with some other stuff? Yes. We've got, what we're doing is this. We're centralizing all of our training with OG Academy. We've got, I can't tell everybody what it is right now, but we've got some technology.
Tell me in Greek.
Tell you in Greek?
Later.
Okay, I'll tell them in Greek, all right? But we've got we've got some information, all of our systems, everything that's going to be in one video portal. We've got the best technology company in the world who's putting this together. It's going to be video driven. So basically what will happen is a distributor will log in and they will introduce themselves. And a person pops up and interviews them.
Wow.
Ask them, how long have you been in network marketing? How long have you been in organo?
Virtual person.
A person, but it won't be real live, but it's basically an intelligence module that's been set in.
Wow.
And so when they choose certain things, it will direct them to here's what you need to know now. And so the upline will know how many modules they've actually logged into, what they've learned, what information that they've got. So we've got right now 30 different training modules that we're loading into this system here. So that way the system can educate the people so that those people who are sitting there and say, I don't have a sponsor, I'm in a small city, small town, you don't necessarily need one. The information is there. The 4 steps will always be the basis and the foundation. Perfect. And it will be the axle of the wheel. And everything else are nothing but spokes. But if you remove the axle, the spokes don't work.
There would be no wheel.
There would be no wheel. And so that's what we're doing. So, but I tell people that because I want them to really understand it. And it's sometimes hard to have those conversations because people don't want truth. People don't. I mean, people want to feel good.
Yeah, that's it.
They want to feel good. If training was the key, read this book. Go read this book and become a millionaire.
You got to apply work.
Is this training or not? This is training.
The best one.
This guy here, he went through over 20 years and he studied all the people who were highly successful. He interviewed them. I'm talking the best of the best, people who are multi-billionaires now, people who have left legacies of success. He had personal one-on-one interaction with these people, and he documented it and put it into his book. And then people say, well, I don't have enough training. Hogwash. You haven't even gotten through chapter 3 of this book yet. I can take their book, and there's no writing, there's no highlighting in here, but they're quick to want to pick up the next book or say, I need another training. And I'm not saying training is not important. It is. I've been doing this for 26 years now. I'm not a rookie at this. Training is one aspect. You need the basics, but people want to feel good. And that's what they want. And so we have a society whereas we're catering to people's feelings instead of telling them truth. You know, and I get a reputation for being you know, what some people call
tough love.
Tough love. And I have to be sensitive to some people because everybody's not the same.
My dad gave me tough love, so when you give me tough love, I'll take it,
Yeah.
no complaining.
But people want to feel good.
Yes.
And when you look at it right now, you look at our society today, and you look at everything that's going on around us, and you look at all of these campaigns that people have put together, and, you know, all of these bullying campaigns, and all of these politically correct campaigns, and, you know, I had someone, they were talking about bullying, saying that they went into a restaurant, and the person asked them something, and they thought they were bullied because the person said it to them improperly. I'm like, you just want to feel good. You just want something to talk about. And so all of that stuff, and with the negative television and with what's happening in the media, it permeates most people's brains to make them always want to get back to feeling good. And feeling good is really not their solution. They don't want the truth.
Well,
and I don't know. I've been told the truth so much that I just got to tell them the truth, and it blows some people out. But
yeah.
I won't apologize for truth. I'm not here to make you feel good. We've had tough conversations, and I told you, John, I'm not going to say this to make you feel good.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you the truth, and I could be wrong, but I'm still going to tell you the truth. I'll find out later, and if I'm wrong, I'll apologize.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to fluff it and just give it to you. No, I'm not old, but I come from old school principles.
Everybody's going through a process in life,
Right.
And not everybody is ready to accept the truth, accepting themselves as they are at that particular point, and they take it as an offense.
Yeah, they do.
And you know, that's why we have this.
The ego.
That's the transformation.
The ego. Yes. But
From
in answering,
from one hour to
we
second.
are having more trainings, okay? For those people who need the baby steps right now of thinking, you know, who need more of the entertainment, and I don't say that in a demeaning or spiteful way, it's just true. I was the same way.
Me too. We got to go through the process.
I was the same way, thinking the more books I read, the better I'll become.
That's a belief system. So we give you the system.
Yeah.
It will be available. Use it as you please. At
Use it
least
as you
now we
please.
have something we didn't have before. The
Yes.
OG Academy is coming up.
Yes,
Coming
it's
up.
coming up.
We're going to have more sapphires coming up throughout
A
the
lot
academy.
more sapphires, absolutely, after the academy. But the eagle is special to me. I remember our first time we gave these eagles away. Houston, Texas, we were in the Galleria Westin Hotel, and this was the first time we gave these eagles away. And I can vividly remember people's face as they were crying.
Yeah.
Because of the eagle.
Was I crying? Because I used to cry a lot, so I don't remember if that was the
John, listen, John's a red, but he's the biggest crybaby I've ever met, okay?
I used to be.
He's still a big crybaby, okay? He is, all right? Don't let the tough red fool you. The eagle is special. It's symbolic in that we use this to recognize what a person has gone through. And when you see people crying on stage, and when you see the tears, and you see them come up and they hug us and they won't let go, it's because it's victory. They have overcome. They have gone through some challenges. And the crying is not because of the pain. The crying is because of the joy that I overcame the pain.
Liberation.
The pain was there, and I did in spite of.
Yep.
You know, I did in spite of. And so we give it out at Sapphire, and we make a big celebration about it. And they're eagles, because eagles to me represent freedom. In America, it represents freedom. It represents leadership. Eagles don't fly in flocks. They're not hanging around like groups of chickens in a coop.
What would you say to people who they hear those stories that somebody came to Sapphire in a day, in a 30 day, in 3 months, and there are people who are like 3 years and they haven't got to the Sapphire level yet?
Okay, people have to put things in perspective, okay? Quote unquote, I started, my journey in Organo started September 22nd, 2008. I went diamond in 7 days. Hogwash. There is no such thing as a 7-day diamond. 200,000 in volume showed up in 7 days.
Yeah.
But I went diamond in 18 years in 7 days. See, they forget the 18 years of experience and failures and the years that it took me to even have 5 people in my group.
They don't see that.
They discount that.
Yeah, they don't see that.
So what most people see is that they look at everybody's finished product, but they don't look at their process. And you have to look at the process. We all have to go through the process. I don't care what business or company you're in. You're going to have to go through a process. Some people, when people come into the business, here's the thing here, that we all can't measure it by what we see just physically. So when people come into the business, here's what happens, okay? Is I always draw this on the board, and I talk about 3 components of success. Number 1, we all have the same company. Yep. All right? So if we got the same company, means that, you know, 20 boxes, 20 sachets of latte, that's what you get. Odile gets that. I get that. Everyone gets these 20 sachets. No matter who they are, they get these 20 sachets. And then we have the same back office, same comp plan. Okay?
All same.
It's all the same. And then we have the same system, the 4 steps, 4 questions, and all of the other spokes that come off of that axle. Well, why isn't it that everybody grows the same way? Because the 3rd component, which is you. So what happens is a person's self-image, the image that they have of themselves, or more importantly, a person's self-image is really what they believe other people think they believe about themselves. And so what happens is you have some people come in, and they come in on a scale of 1 to 10, they come in at a 3. So if you take a person with a 3 in terms of the you component, and then you have a person who comes in at an 8, the results are supposed to be different.
Supposedly, yeah.
Okay?
And they will be.
Right. It's like if I go and become a part of the Houston Rockets right now. I haven't practiced. I haven't shot a basketball in quite some time. But the rim is 10 feet tall. It's 10 feet.
For everybody.
For everybody. The court is probably 50 feet long or 50 yards long, whatever it is. Or 40, whatever, however it is. It's the same for everybody. Why can't I compete? Why can't I make the team?
You didn't practice.
I haven't practiced. I'm not conditioned. I haven't conditioned myself for that arena.
Correct.
In this business here, when a person gets involved, and by the way, when people get involved, this is the mistake that a lot of people makes. This is very important here. And I want you to pay attention to this one here. Pay attention to this one. Because most people miss this. You're going to have people who join the business, like the 15 people that the guy sponsored, or the example you gave me.
And non-duplicate.
Right. And not duplicate. Because we expect all 15 people to have our dream.
Expectations. Yeah.
That's you've already failed when you expect everyone to have your dream. My first month, I sponsored 42 people. Okay? I knew what I was going to do. I knew this was going to be the biggest success I ever had in my life. And those 42 people, 32 of them I had never done business with. So I sponsored 32 new people who had never done business with me before. Most of them I met 3-foot rule. Okay? Or making phone calls through my phone. Some people came in, bought a kit. Some people came in, bought a bronze pack. Some people came in, bought a silver. Some people came, bought a gold pack. But here's what happens. There's several categories. Some people came in, and they only want to buy product. They're what we call consumers. So out of that 15 people, whoever that person may have been, that sponsor, they're going to have a few people who are consumers. So when I get a consumer in, this is why I say the business doesn't work. I take a consumer, and I send them to the convention.
Yeah. You kill them.
Let me ask you a question. When's the last time you ever been to Walmart's convention?
Never. Do they have one?
When is the last time you've ever been to Kroger or Fiesta's
Celebration?
HEB's convention?
Never.
You haven't?
No.
Okay, now check this out. Rolls-Royce has convention. You're a Rolls-Royce customer. Did you go to their convention?
Yes, I did.
Did you go to Mercedes-Benz? No, you didn't go to Mercedes. You're just a consumer.
Correct. I was invited several times, but only.
You're a consumer.
Yeah.
And so now the salespeople are there every year. The salespeople have regional trainings. Why? Because they want to make a career. So a person who comes in, you have to size them up and realize this person really is only going to be a customer. No problem. I'm going to treat them like a customer. Make sure they get product at wholesale. Make sure the environment for what they're going to do and what they want is perfect. Next person is going to come in and they want to be wholesale. They want to buy the products and get them at wholesale. And make sure that they're wholesale. Some people are going to come in and they're going to be what we call a retailer. They want a small business. They see themselves making $500 a month. I've got a young lady over in Nikki Idetta's group. I was talking with Nikki the other day. We had a counseling session, and she called me up. She says, Holton, she says, I've got my group. Things are growing, but some people don't want to duplicate. They don't, and they're so satisfied. I'm like, Nikki, what are you complaining about? You at least know what they want.
Yeah.
And she says, you know, she's got a young lady in her business who's making anywhere from $600 to $1,000 a week. Retailing product. This is not her dual team. This is not her uni-level. Just with people who she's selling the shake to.
And she does a lot.
$600 to $1,000 a week. She's quit her job. She's full-time.
Money.
She's 21, 22 years old. Nikki, what else do you want? That's what she wants. This is great. She's making $2,500 to $4,000 a month with customers. Celebrate it.
Absolutely.
So what happened is Nikki's thinking, well, maybe she needs to do mixers because I'm the only one doing mixers. She won't do a mixer. Nikki, she doesn't want to. So identify the person who does. So the next category of person is going to be someone who's what I call a manager. A manager. They will build a team, okay, and then they will manage that team. Not necessarily a leader, but they are a manager. They'll build a team, and then they'll manage that small little team. You have to identify who your manager is. Just like I mentioned, I know what I'm going to do in 2018. But if I think my manager and my retailer are the same people, my plan is not going to work. And guess what I'm going to say? The company didn't work. No, I didn't work. I mismanaged expectations. And so you're going to have those who become managers. Then you're going to have those, okay, who are expanders. They will expand the business. They'll travel. They become some of your leaders as well. They become leaders. I didn't say that they are leaders, okay? We characterize people as leaders if they got two people in the group and we give them the title so much, all right? Now, they are leading people, but they're not necessarily the leader. They're expanders. And so you have to understand who your expanders are. Only about 6% of your team is going to be expanders.
Yep. That's right.
Okay? And then you're going to have what we call dream builders. See, John, you're a dream builder. I'm a dream builder. Odell, you're a dream builder. That's what we do. We build a dream. We can get in front of people and we can make them believe more than they've ever believed before.
Especially in themselves.
In themselves. You're only going to have 1% that are dream builders. Yeah. So what happens is I get 15 people, I think I have 15 expanders or 15 dream builders. When I don't. Only one of them have the potential right now, yes, or the makeup that they will become a dream builder. And so what I'm doing is I'm trying to get all 15 people to register for convention. I'm trying to get all 15 people to do 4 mixers a week. Who's going to do the mixers per week? Your managers. The people who are going to manage a sales team. The wholesalers not. The retailers not. They're not going to do that. The retail customer is not. The managers are going to do it. And so you've got to identify what. So we start to think that just because I sponsored 12, 12 is supposed to build it.
And that's why they get frustrated.
Yeah, they do. I mean, Jesus sponsored 12.
Yeah.
All 12 didn't build it.
The biggest network.
Right. He sponsored 12, and they were all different. He had a couple of them who became superstars, but everybody wants superstars. People can't name all 12 disciples. There's a few of them that you can name. Why? Those were the dream builders. Well, if Jesus sponsored 12 and he can't pick them, and he didn't pick them perfectly, why do I think I could pick them perfectly?
And he knew how to pick them.
And he knew how to pick them. And I don't even think he wanted 12 dream builders, because if you have 12 dream builders, who's going to sell the product?
That's exactly right.
So, you know me, I get fired up about this kind of stuff, man.
That brings me to the almost the end of the show. Who would be the right person to hold the sword of a diamond? Characteristics, commitments.
I've been watching Game of Thrones lately. And I need to get my sheets for this thing here. You know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch Game of Thrones. I'm on season 6 right now. I record it, so I don't actively watch it, but throughout the holidays, even if I'm up late at night or early in the morning, I'll get up. Like I had my haircut this morning, and so I'll watch my Game of Thrones, and man, they work these swords. So you say, well, who's the right person for this sword here?
I'll take the hammer.
This sword, it represents something to us, especially those who were in that first class, because for some people it represents a symbol of status, and that's not what it's intended to be. Okay, this is real steel. This is handmade. These are actually made in Spain. And we wanted to give the real deal, because when you become a diamond, we wanted you to be the real deal. It represents somebody who believes, number one, in the mission that we have. Because, see, when people believe in the leader but don't believe in the mission, what happens is they'll find another mission. And so, we want people who believe in the mission. We want people who believe in the company. We want people who represents what we call loyalty, unity, and edification. The true meaning of it, not just the stage talk of it. Because there's so much you can do when loyalty, unity, and edification is there. I seriously, I watch Game of Thrones, and I watch because of the messaging that's behind it. I watch because of the lessons that I see. Erlene can't watch it. She says too much killing, too many dead bodies. I say, honey, that's network marketing. Look at all the people who joined last week who are dead right now. They're dead in the street, right? We just didn't kill them with our sword. They just,
life.
Yeah, life gets them. But that's what this represents. And for me, it's an honor to lead people who have this sword, and I don't take it lightly. I mean, every person from any background can have it. A person from any education level can have it. This right here is what makes us equal in terms of the work. See, when you carry this sword, for me, it represents that you know what it feels like to be beat down. It represents that you know what it feels like to be disappointed. It represents to me that you know what it feels like to have lost something of value. It represents that you know what it feels like to have been lied to. It represents that you know what it feels like to cry about your business, whether it's internally or externally. It represents that you know what it feels like to see people that you love that give up on their dream. But it also represents that you know what it feels like to overcome and to win in spite of all of those things. See, anybody can talk about the sad story. Why should you let someone do a testimonial when they're still in the middle of their sad story? Who can't go through a sad story? But this is the reward for the person who had their sad story, who had their moment, and they overcame, and they are a testimony to people who are out there saying, they have my same story. They went through what I went through. And if they got on the other side of that challenge, I can get on the other side of that challenge. And that's why we give them this sword.
Sí se puede.
Sí se puede. Yes. Soy diamante.
I remember the first time the company gave out the swords. It was an extremely emotional moment for a lot of people.
Atlanta, Georgia.
And it still is right now. I remember it was September 2010.
Yep, 2010.
Yeah, I was a blue diamond by then.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I remember the last diamonds who closed it out in August. We had 9 diamonds. 9 diamonds back then.
Wow. I remember I took the sword and I put it on stage, and I put it so that I could get it out. It was a moment that I cannot forget, because I felt exactly every single word you said right now. I felt it back then.
Yeah.
It was like a wave of emotions that kicked in. And I do believe that the 2017 for everybody, 2017 is going to be a renewed year, a big one.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. Much of the training that we're going to do, you know, I always have to go back to the guy with the 15 and back to what my sponsor did. What my sponsor did, it was what I believe every person should have. So often we have relied so much on technology and high tech that we've lost high touch. And the largest companies today that will sustain growth are those who still have a high degree of high touch, that personal interaction. Technology will use it just like right now. We're reaching a lot of people right now by technology. Okay, but this does not replace what we're about to go have lunch, John and I. What if we tried to have lunch on the internet?
We cannot do that.
We can't do it. If I sit there and watch you eat and you watch me eat, it's going to be disgusting.
Yeah.
Looking at, you know, but when we're there together,
it's
different.
Human touch.
It's
that can never ever be
It's
replaced.
a human touch, and that's what we must do. You know, there's different trainings. We're going to educate people on what on what a real network marketing company is. In today's world, there's so many fly-by-night or opportunities that represent quick cash, but long-term troubles.
Yeah.
And some people sacrifice that because they're not educated. They just don't know any better. And I think as ambassadors of the industry, not just for our company, we need to educate people on what network marketing was designed for. If you want to take care of your family long-term, how to identify a valid opportunity versus something that a fly-by-night or something that possibly may even get you in trouble or ruin your reputation.
Yes.
You know, and it's so important to educate people because I've seen people over the last 26 years who've made decisions that were short-term decisions, but those decisions that were short-term have long-term implications on their reputation.
Yeah, and not only that, let's build a professional career in the industry, and let's serve people,
Yes.
help people, educate people
Yeah.
to find out the truth and what it is networking. This is all about personal relationships.
That's what it's all about.
You said it perfectly. Friendships build diamondships.
It does all the time.
All the time. All the time.
All the time. And I want people to remember this as well. I mean, one of the philosophies that we have as a diamond is you never hear us talk negative about any other company. This industry is counting on us. You wouldn't believe, well, you would, but the number of people that I give advice to who have nothing to do with with Organo or my product. I think I have a responsibility.
That's right.
Now, I have a responsibility to Organo because Organo's given me that platform, and my people in Organo come first. But I do have people that I know and love and trust and respect who need levels of advice as well. And because of the blessings that I have and the wisdom or the experience that I've gained, it would be selfish of me to say, I can't give you this piece of advice because it may help you and you're in another network marketing company. No, it doesn't work that way. Now, I'm not out there doing events and stuff like that, but I'll do it because I want them to rise.
Yeah.
A rising tide.
There are a lot of people, there are millions of people available for everybody.
Yeah.
But if you work correctly, intelligently, the ones who are going to be for you, they will be for you regardless.
You know, nobody's ever taken anything away from me that wasn't mine to keep.
That's exactly right. That's a powerful statement. Everybody's going to get their share of success, failure, their share of people who are going to go because everybody's different and unique.
They are.
Some would like to be with you, some they don't.
Yeah.
We just have to keep moving and keep moving forward. Yeah. Mr. Holton, one last advice to the ladies out there. the married couple who might have a husband who may not believe in their wife's dream on building OG, what would you say to them?
Shame on you. I'll be honest, shame on you. Because everybody has a dream. And, you know, I do believe in a household that your purpose must be paralleled, even though your paths aren't. There's a difference between purpose and path. You know, some guys, let's say he's an engineer, but what if his wife's an accountant? Is he angry that she didn't take his path? But as soon as she says, I want to do network marketing, different path, I'm disappointed or I don't want to support it. But you don't mind her going to work as an accountant for 10 hours a day for somebody who may not even appreciate her, for somebody who if something happened, won't do anything to support her family. And here we've got an organization that says if something happens to you, the people who have this sword, you earn this sword, you're going to have people that come to your back, come to your rescue, and do work for you without expectation of pay. Support your spouse's dream. Work together and find a way to make it happen. Maybe you don't have enough information to believe in network marketing. Maybe you're misinformed. Maybe you've had a bad experience. You probably had a bad experience with the girl before you met your wife, but you didn't give up on women.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Powerful.
Okay? So support her. And the same thing for women. If your man is out there and maybe he's failed in 12 different companies, so what? Do you know that there's guys who haven't failed in one because they haven't even tried?
Yeah.
Would you rather have a guy who's got no failures? If you look at the number of failures I have and how much stuff Erlene has put, I know what Blanca's put up with, okay, with you, all right? Because you have more experience than I do, more life, more business experience than I do. So you've gone through a lot of failures. I went through so many failures. I fell flat on my face. I started a computer company. I didn't know anything about computers, okay? And I was good at selling them, but then I didn't know computers would have problems. And so when they had problems, I used to have a guy he would build the computers for me. But I didn't build customer support. I didn't think about it. And people started having problems with their computers, and I couldn't reach the guy who built them. He would build them, but he wouldn't support them. And so my computer company went up under. I had a furniture company. I made money for a long period of time. Next thing you know, fell flat on my face. I started, I mean, you name it, I've started the business. I started a recycling company when I was in college and never got one customer, spent a lot of money, but never got one company to buy into my recycling philosophy. And I never forget, I came up with the idea. 18 months later, I saw the city of Houston, took my idea, and it was all around the entire state. Big failure that I had. And if I look to see if Erlene would have judged me on those failures, I wouldn't be where I am today.
That's correct.
And now, she wasn't so happy when I lost money. Nobody's happy when you lose money. But she never killed my dream. She always supported it. In the back of her mind, she probably was wondering, you know, which one is going to work. But I never knew it. I knew that she was going to support me. And I can tell you this, okay? Ladies, there's nothing more than a man really wants than to take care of his wife and his family. And if you understand how to position yourself to get that motivation out of him, he will take this sword and he will chop down any obstacle that's in his way to make sure his family succeeds. And so we have to support each other. I mean, Erlene now, she has a strong vision of what she's doing with women within the business. She never really took an active role. She found her place. She saw what, you know, she didn't understand how much impact she had with women. And, you know, because we don't read the press. I never listen to when people say how awesome we are, and I never listen to when people say how horrible we are. I just don't listen. I just don't get caught up in that. Seriously, I really don't. Because when you start focusing on that, now your motivation changes. And she didn't really know, and I would always have to tell her what you mean to women and what impact you can have. And now she's doing things to show women how to support themselves, more importantly. If you can't support yourself, you can't support him.
That's right.
But men, support your wives. If they've got a dream, let them dream. Work it out together. Sit down. Develop a plan. Say, hey, how can we make this work? Guys, ladies, if he wants to do it, let him build it. Sit down, work out a plan. Say,
What
how can we
about
make it work?
you have an amazing son.
Yes.
Very talented.
Yes.
I don't know if it was took from you or from Orlean. There are a lot of families who have teenagers.
Right.
Who have their own dream.
Right.
Who don't want to follow up, they don't want to follow their dad. Like my daughter,
Right.
she loves OG, but it's not her thing yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't put any pressure on her. I want her to do whatever she wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to the parents that they want their kids to do OG or networking, or they don't want to do it?
Man, this is powerful here. My son, yeah, he's amazing, but not perfect. And if you're listening, son, you're perfect in your mom's eyes, but they're not perfect, okay? And sometimes people look at us and think their children must be perfect. They got the perfect life, and they're not. They make mistakes, and my son didn't choose my path. I would have wanted nothing more than my son to be in this industry, being the leader that I know he can be in this industry. But I learned at a very early age you can't push him. Because I learned at around 7 years old, when my son was 7, I wanted him to play golf. Because I was so in love with golf, and I had this dream of my son and myself being out there on the golf course. And I took him out there prematurely, playing golf, and I wanted him to go a second time, and then I noticed he didn't want to go and play golf, and he never grew up playing golf, probably because I forced it. And so that was a dream of mine that I don't have that never came true. And so I learned that I can't push him to do anything. My son has a love for music. And I remember him growing up, I didn't let him listen to rap music. I forced him away from rap music. He became a rapper.
Amazing.
You know, and I'm like, I'm not letting you listen to rap music, but you become a rapper. How? Why? Because they're probably going to sneak and listen to it.
Yeah.
And I really despise what goes on in the music industry. And then I ended up starting a record label because of his passion in music. And he's gone to school. He wants to do music. OG, he asked me on his way to going to college, and maybe it was probably to appease me. I've never talked to him about OG. He sees the business. I don't have to, ask him, hey, listen, do you know your dad makes a little bit of money? So he said to me when we were driving from we have a house in California. We were driving from our house in California to his apartment. Dad, I want to get an OG. And, I didn't let him. Why? Because I told him, I said, listen, here, go read this book. I want you to listen to this tape. And once you finish, come and talk to me. We'll go through some information. And then if you're ready, I'll sponsor you. I said, I don't do this with anybody else. Normally, I sponsor the person, then train them. You, it's going to be a little different. Because I don't want you getting involved and not being ready and then measuring your success to my success, and now your self-image goes down.
Yeah.
And he never came back to me. And it was his freshman year. I knew he was going to, do his freshman stuff, and he's never asked me again. But his music career has taken off, and it's going in the direction that he wants, and you just have to let them do what they want to do. Okay. Our job is to create an environment. I watched something that Denzel Washington said on T.D. Jake's show yesterday. He said, when you fuel a plane, a private jet, you fill it up, and it can only go so high because the weight of the fuel holds the plane down. The more fuel it expends, which means the tank is getting emptier, the higher the plane is able to go. Our job is to give them that fuel. It's to fill their tanks. It's to give them experience and advice, not to be too overbearing. Yeah. Fill it up, and then let them take off. Let them use what we've given them, and when they've used what we give them, they will go higher and higher and higher. And I watched that yesterday, and I says, wow, when my son gets here, I don't know when that movie comes out, but hopefully it's out while he's here for the holidays, and we'll go see that movie. But that's what we have to do. You got to let them spread their wings. They must spread their wings.
And experience life on their own.
On their own terms, not on my terms, So this organo is what I do. People say, well, this is who I am. It's not who I am. I am many things. I do many. This is my passion. I put my time here because I love what I do. But I do, you know, this, I'm not defined by how I make money.
Yeah. It's another vehicle.
It's another vehicle. I'm able to carry out my definiteness of purpose through this vehicle. But my son, whatever it is that he's going to do, I'm going to support it.
Yeah. And that's what we all have to do. Everybody's going to go through an experience in life. And sometimes the advice that we get from people with wisdom is nothing else but experienced through knowledge in time after personal results. You can get all the information you want, you can listen to advices, but if you don't get your own experience, sometimes we have to pay the price to learn. All we can tell you, guys, this is Mr. Holton Bugs, first time in motiveradio.com.
First time, but not the last time. I'll be back on motiveradio.com.
We'll see you again. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year. We'll see you soon.
I always want to have my radio voice and say something like that. Yeah, so.
I
said it already.
No, with a very unique speaker's voice.
This has been Holton Bugs on Motive Radio. I'll be back.
We'll be back soon. Live. We'll see you soon.
See you guys. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Love all of you.
Nos vemos pronto y muy pronto.